fantastic day. Today, I wanted to help you guys with just some content that will show you how essentially your everyday life is your story. I know sometimes we're like, man, can I write a book? Do I really have a story that everyone can relate to? And I want to take some pressure off you and let you know, no. I know you might say, well, Crystal, I thought you was going to say yes. I thought everyone will ultimately like the story that I present. Isn't that the way this goes? And the short answer is no. There are going to be people that are ideal for your book, your story, your journey. And then there are going to be people that might be interested or curious, but that is not necessarily the reason why you may want to embark on writing, telling your story, or even launching your business. Okay. So today, I wanted to let you know we've made great progress with the board. What I went ahead and did, I went ahead and just locked in all the topics for the week. And in doing so, I'm excited because today's topic is actually based on family. So if you missed yesterday I talked about teamwork, which is here. If you want to watch that replay, you can go to YouTube and you can look up author KLEE all together, and you will find all of the previous lives, and you can check out yesterday's live. All right. Another thing that I want to share with you today about family are three critical parts. There are three critical things that make up family. Hi, Miss Jessica. Which leads me to saying this. Family is made up of three things. The family the father chose for you, which means you have no say in it. Another one is the family that you don't have any control over, meaning these are people that are being brought to the family from relatives, in-laws, etc. They become part of your family, maybe step parents. Again, you don't choose them, but they are part or added to your family. And then the third element to your family circle are the people you choose. Okay. So there are three ways. One, the people that the father adds to your life. Two, the people that are out of your control and they're added anyway. And three, the people that are added that you control. Now, I'm pretty sure if you've been living this life long enough, you're going to realize that in those three arenas, there are going to definitely be stories. There are going to be things that you're going to experience, life lessons you're going to experience, and things you're going to go through. And the only question is what are you wanting or going to share with others that are also going through something similar? Okay. Family is something that we all need. No one wants to be alone, although many of us settle with being alone because we might feel it's the best way, the safest way, the ideal way. But I want to let you know most companies, they operate with a family mindset as well. The best part about this and many of our experiences with family is we get to choose our family. We get to choose how we embrace our family, whether we welcome them, whether we isolate, whether we section people off, whether we put on brakes, whether we, choose to allow them to remain or see them as someone that honestly we need to love from a distance, right? Not everybody is going to necessarily meet your inner circle when it comes to closeness, even in your family. I would say the people that you choose tend to be closer than the people that you were either born within the family circle of, or the people other people have chosen for you to add and to make up your family. And so today, I want to show you how something as simple, I know for some of us, we might say, well, I don't really think my life is all that interesting. I don't really think I have something that people may want to, get to know me for or get to learn more about. And I want to encourage you that books don't have to be complicated. Okay. Some of the greatest books are stories that people never thought that someone else would like, love as much as they do. And so if you are finding that ultimately telling your story, you're asking the question, is what I want to share good enough or enough for me to be able to fill in a book or fill in, what I may want to share or talk about? And I want to let you know it is. You are more than enough. Okay. As an author, I have over 64 published books. I'm still working on more of them, but there is a process that I do take in order to write anything easily. And the book that I actually published as well is called Write Anything Easily. And it's in paperback, which is the version in my hand, but it's also in hardback. They're both 6x9. Hardback looks a little bit bigger just because it's a hardback book and you got to wrap content around around it's the way it's bind basically. But if you look at both books, same content, they're both in color. They're about 164 pages. But what I love about this book and ultimately the series. So my goal as an author was to share my journey with how I started writing my first book. And now I have successfully published 63 more books from the first one. And I want to show you that with any kind of book, you can start off with your story. And a lot of your stories are going to involve your family. Okay. But the question is, how can you tell stories about yourself or about your family that doesn't kind of push the envelope of being nosy or violating their space or your own? And I want to show you some of the books that I've written utilizing my family. And one of them is Why You Gotta Know. Yes, I have 26 children's books. So they're not all adult books, but I do write adult books as well. And with this children's book, I essentially wrote this book because a lot of my children, nieces and nephews, and family and friends, we have children that get bad grades and then they're like, oh, I don't know why I got this grade. And I was like, do we really not know, or do we just expect it not to happen? And then I wonder what really happens if they don't learn this lesson early. If you don't learn the lesson that you don't get a grade, you earn a grade. So if you don't like what you've earned, if you don't like what you're receiving, then what can you do to change it? Sometimes it's the atmosphere. Yes, sometimes you just need to move to a new job or go to a new school and better things can happen. But sometimes it's not either one of those things. It's just the way we apply ourselves or the lack thereof. Okay. So if you're not willing to apply yourself, if you're not willing to show up, if you're not willing to be focused, okay, then you're going to find that you are going to miss the mark. And as you miss the mark, there are going to be people that actually care about you. This is the family that honestly can either come into your life. I believe school teachers can easily become part of your family, especially if they're going above and beyond their jobs. They're wanting to make sure that all the children with different learning abilities, ideas, have a space where they can learn and be encouraged and uplifted and motivated. If those are some of the things that you're looking for or you've considered, I want to let you know that this book explores those topics as well. Really good books, in my opinion. They do more than put words on the page. They're also going to relate to the reader socially. They're going to teach some kind of a lesson or moral lesson, show them how to do something. It turns into a how to, and you're using a creative art form to basically be a teacher. And so I want to show you that you can teach other people through your life or through your testimony. The good news is the word says that we overcome by the hearing of each other's testimonies. So sharing your story is something you should want to do, even if you don't publish it. Okay. Because there is somebody and someone that's looking for what you've experienced, and they need to hear your story so they can build their strength, their confidence to know they can win too. I watch a lot of documentaries and cooking shows, and one of the things that they consistently do is they'll do these one-off interviews, and in the one-off interviews, they'll ask them questions about their personal story. Why? Because we can connect to people and fall in love with their character or their ambition to win because we love their story. Okay. So I want to let you know that there is power in your story, whether you tell your story to get a job, whether you tell your story in a book, whether you tell your story and that's how you launched a business because you saw a need that people had and you wanted to meet that need. Now, what are some of the logistical parts of writing a book that honestly can't be skipped? Some of those logistical things is you want to think through the details. You want to think through, okay, how am I really going to write this? So for those of you who have never written anything, I want to encourage you, take a picture of this book. You can find it anywhere books are sold. You can find it in my TikTok shop. Yes, you can find it on my website, which is authorklee.com. And when you go there, ultimately, you can click on guides and it's in the guide section. But what I love about this book is it's going to give you the steps on what to do if you've never written a day in your life. Now, here's the reason why I encourage you to grab this book, even if you choose not to publish your story, because this is going to help you to organize what you've accomplished, what you're working on, what you've done, and see it from a neutral perspective. Sometimes we don't see how great and wonderful we are because we're highly focused on what we either felt like we didn't do well, or we're listening to other people that are judging our efforts and our results. And from there, we are gleaning where we are. But I want to show you when you are able to be objective and write your story as if it's just basically you being able to release your thoughts, your emotions, and share your experiences, it will show you that you really can teach someone else. And sometimes the first person you teach is yourself. I know that sounds really strange. When I wrote my first book, I honestly didn't think anything new would come out of it. Hey, Lady T. But what I realized real quick, a whole lot was shown to me. I realized that I really did do a lot of great things. Yes, I realized I had a lot of things that honestly I only learned after writing my book because I already lived it. Your prayer books are helping me. I take them to work every day. Oh, so good, so good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I really am. So if y'all don't know, Miss Lady T is amazing. She's in the Rose Club. She's in my subscription club on TikTok on Author Kaylee. And she's a saint. She really is. And she ordered a couple of my prayer books and she's just giving her testimony. And that's what I want to show you. Life is about people and our connections and our ability to find people that can help us and become our real family. Family is not, like I said, family is made up of the people you choose, the people you don't choose, and the people God gave you. Okay. Two of them are out of your control. One is what you do control. And I would say is the biggest influence in your life. Now, when you allow people that you were born to, or people you don't control, to kind of control the ship, sometimes their expectations are not yours. Now, what I love about the Father is your relationship with Him has to be the grounding work for all of them. I will be purchasing more of your books. Keep writing and teaching. Oh, thank you so much. Shalom, shalom. So that's what I want to show you today. I want to show you the first thing you're going to start with if you want to write your own story. Again, publishing it secondary. First thing I want you to do is I want you to start seeing yourself for your true self. Because oftentimes we see ourselves through the lenses of other people, but we never really see ourselves as we are. Okay. So the first thing in here is what's your purpose and what's your why? Okay. That's in module one. So your why is going to be to discover yourself, to share your story, to show other people XYZ, to do this, to do something for my children, to build a legacy, to see what I'm doing right or wrong, to help examine myself. The word tells us, examine yourself to see if you're in the faith. How you're going to do that if you never write it down? How are you ever going to write the vision and make it plain so other people can pick it up and help you if they don't know what you're wanting or aiming to do? Okay, so these things I want to show you, they go together. And as you start seeing that they go together, it will give you the confidence to go out and go do some of the stuff y'all say we want to do, right? We say we want to go out and change our lives and change the world. And all that begins with putting your vision on a page. Because when you can put your vision on a page, now you can what? See it. Sometimes you can't see yourself, see your family, see your progress because you haven't wrote it down nowhere. So you're just going off what you hope is true. And how much hopeful thinking with no practicality is just wishful thinking because there's no action and no work ethic that's going to help make it manifest. Okay, so some of us are like, well, Krystal, I already did that dream thing, that envision thing. It didn't work for me. I want to tell you, did you write it down? Okay. Did you write it down? And when you wrote it down, did you revisit it? Did you build out a plan? Did you go seek out people you needed to help you as your family, as your work family, as your support group? These are part of your family. Support groups are real. Social media and all of these things, these are ways we can build family. And so we need them because some people in your family are supposed to have eyes to see the things we don't, right? Okay, so next thing you want to do is you want to create an outline. In creating your outline, this is how you're going to sketch out what you want to talk about so you stay on topic. Okay, for some of us, if this is like a therapeutic right, I want you to scale out what you want to talk about so you can see specific things. Yes, there's more to your life than what you're going to write down. Trust me, the Bible is full of things that the Father did, but it's not all of it. He's still writing our stories right now, but they're not in the Bible. So it goes to show you there's way more to life than what you're going to necessarily write. And that's all right. What I want you to see is that what you're writing is good enough. It is enough to be able to show you something if you are specific and you give yourself to the assignment. Okay. So if the assignment is to see how far I've grown, then you're just going to put it on things you've gone through and things you've accomplished. Things you've gone through and things you've accomplished. There are things you want, but they don't go there yet, right? Because this is going to show you your growth story, not necessarily what you're still reaching for. Because why? If you do this exercise first, then you go into your vision board. When you go into your vision board, it will encourage you to dream bigger because you can see all these things you never thought you would what make it out of. You never thought you would learn. And now you're looking at all of your victories. Yes, challenges, sometimes failures, but you can say, man, I won over here, but I didn't quite get this right. I wonder what I could do to make this result match this one. And as you start thinking like that, you're going to start seeing the connection between how you can impact your own life and how the Father is using you to minister to yourself. When King David says, I had to what encourage myself in the Lord, I had to be willing to do this for me. For some of us, we're like, Lord, I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna go, I need to ask somebody to pray for me. But what if the Father is saying, no, you're at a point where I want you to learn to lay hands on yourself. I want you to realize with this resources and my presence, you can do anything. I want to show you that I can direct you. My sheep know my voice. Now, how will we ever know the voice of God if we are never put in a position where we got to hear him? And I'm going to tell you, every day we're put in positions to hear the Father. The only question is if we're sensitive enough to hear and are we willing to respond? And the Lord's willing to respond in a favorable way. Okay. So this is where we are. So after you essentially create your outline, which is what you're going to fill in to get that story and to express what you need to get out to move forward, then you're going to start writing it out. Okay. When you start writing out what you want to say, don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about the mistakes. Don't worry about typos. Don't worry about all of that because it will all come out. Now, am I telling you to go in and just write all willy nilly and skip all confines of grammar? No, because it can become a laborer's journey when you get to editing. Okay. But what I want to share with you is don't overthink, the process to where you don't allow yourself to free write at certain points because you can always pull out what you've written and put it in another book or put it somewhere else and say, you know what? I wrote this because this was something I needed to write, but I realized it wasn't really on topic for what I'm writing. So let me take this out and put this over here, but still write whatever comes to your heart or your mind. Because there's a reason the Bible says what? Out of the heart, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if you find yourself writing certain things, it might be that what you really need to talk about is not what you might be willing to talk about. But when you are at peace and at rest, you're finding where you need to deal with. You're finding what maybe the Father wants to use you for that you probably don't believe in. And the Father's like, I keep giving it to her. I keep giving it to him. But they write it down, but then they just, what I'm saying? You got to remember to go back to what you wrote down, whether it was on topic or not, because there is something I dare say the Father wants to get to you. And that's why it keeps sitting on you. You might say, well, Krystal, how do I know when the Father wants me to do something? I mean, I don't really know if it's God's voice, my voice, the devil, or what's going on. When it's something that the Father wants for you, it's going to help you. He won't do anything to hurt you, right? Now, there are certain things that may hurt in the process because it may be something we don't want to do. It may be something we don't believe. It might be something we struggle with. And we don't like the idea of not winning. So since we don't like the idea that we're not winning and what we're doing, it can frustrate us. And then we will question on if this is God. But it's really not you questioning if it's good for you. It's really you questioning if you're going to endure the growth process. Okay. So there's a difference there. And how you are opening yourself to go down or go into telling your story, writing it, and then following through with what the Father gives you. Okay. Don't be so quick to throw stuff away because you don't know where it goes. Sometimes it goes somewhere and you just got to figure out and be patient with yourself to say, okay, well, Father, where does this go in my life? Does it go anywhere? Did I put this here? Or did you give me this, but it's so early in the game, or I'm just not ready that I don't know what to do with it. So I'm gonna just set it aside. And when you tell me what to do, I'll do it then. The next thing you want to do is you want to, of course, edit what you have. If you were writing a book, I would also say look at the content, look at how much you've written, and then see if you need to write more. See if you need to dig in more. Sometimes when people are writing their business plans or writing books or sharing their life stories or journaling, they can be very surface level. And for some of us, we're surface level because we don't know who's going to find it. Others of us, we're surface level because it's a safe space and we don't really have to deal with the emotions that maybe we've been running from. And sometimes we don't know that there's something more to it. So we just write what we feel is what we want to hear or someone else wants to hear. Okay. So if you are like, man, I don't really want to put my business, I don't really want to share all of that. That's all right. You don't have to go in and share everything. Some parts of your book, you might not publish it. You might just publish the parts that are particular, but don't stop yourself from writing what's in your heart, because what you're going to find is the Father's going to use what you're writing to impact you still. When I wrote my first book, what I experienced was way better than what I ever thought it would be. And this is why I kept going. It's because I said, whoa, I didn't realize all this stuff was happening. I didn't, it's funny because my mom read a couple of my books and she was like, Krystal, I didn't even know you was going through all of that. Because you didn't what? You didn't look like it. You didn't sound like it. You didn't have a heart like you were going through really anything. So we all assumed you was fine. And that's the way life works. Is some of us are so good at maintaining this equilibrium of I'm good. And sometimes we're not, but we know that we need to keep going because quitting is not an option. So if quitting is not an option, we find a way to departmentalize our emotions, our thoughts, our fears, or whatever else is going on. And sometimes people never know what's really happening. And sometimes we can even deceive ourselves and not know what's really happening. So that's why I encourage you, if you do discover things in your writing process, don't be so quick to throw them away. Because although you've been making it in spite of it, don't think that it won't come back. I remember one of my clients, we were working through her book, editing her story. I was a ghostwriter for her. And she went through something 30 years ago. And, it took her 20 years. It was like 20 years later that she actually told, no, it might have been, yeah, 20 years later, she actually told her mom. And then her mom was like, why didn't you not tell me? And she was like, well, I didn't know how you would feel. I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I didn't want to bother this family member. And she said, I wish you would have told me. I would have done things so differently. And that's what I want to tell you. Sometimes we don't tell ourselves the truth or someone else the truth, or we hold secrets because we're thinking, man, my family won't like this will disturb the family relationship or the family connection, and everybody will dislike me, or it'll be even more awkward, or more this, more that. What if people don't do anything? And so this fear locks into you and you end up holding things for decades, for some of us too many years, and afterwards we see a piece of us fade away. So if we don't find a way to release the things that are going on in our lives, even if it's through journaling, even if it's bringing someone in that's a professional or etc., to be a part of the family, to be a part of your growth story, do that. Because when we hold on to it, she didn't realize 30 years later she would be crying over something that honestly could have been done differently if she would have had the same confidence at 50 and 60 that she needed when she was going through something when she was a child. So I want to encourage you, if you are going through something, be willing to write it down and then go back and see what you can do with it. The next thing I want to let you guys know too is, if you're writing your story and it's particularly about your family or your life experience, you want to look for a cover idea. Okay. Now, as you can see, this cover picture is not of me. In all of my books, except for probably two, you will not see my picture. And in the two where my face is part of the cover, I'm actually a character. I'm literally a cartoon character, and it's on children's books. And there's a reason. Actually, no. So I have another book coming out called Abort Me Not. And in that book, I am on the cover as a regular person and not a cartoon. That's a novel that'll be coming out, Lord's willing, this year or next year. I already started writing book one. I'm excited for book two. So stay tuned for that. But typically, I don't use my face on my covers. I use cover ideas that will help convey the message I want to share, more so than conveying my picture or my image, or letting the world know this is my story, because I want my stories to become hopeful and resourceful to their stories. And in that sense, I use images that relate to how I want you to feel. So as you can see, write anything easily. There's a lady here that is relaxing. She is, clearly not worried or stressed out. She ain't pulling her hair out. And so if you have been feeling that way, anxious, anxiety, stuff like that, in writing or telling your story or doing something new, this is why my covers look like this and not like me. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that I couldn't be in a picture and pose like this, but I'm saying I didn't want to. I would rather the image be what tells people this book is for them than it just be my face, especially if you may not have the brand awareness you want, especially if it's a new concept or something that people want to connect with. Sometimes picking an image that looks like how you want them to feel is more powerful and it connects with them even more. And it's funny because people are like, "Isn't that you on the cover?" I'm like, "Mm-mm." So you can pick people that look similar to you too. I mean, there's no law in what you can and cannot do, but just consider your covers being more than just the image of you. Make them a statement for the reader too. Okay. And then, of course, after you do that, after you pick your cover, you're ready to go publish. Now, when we publish through KLE Publishing, so if you're looking for a publisher, if you have questions, KLE Publishing is the publisher I use. It's my publishing company. You can go to klehub.com to look up our services and how we connect and help people to tell their stories. And the biggest way we do that is through self-publishing methods, meaning we can help you to edit, format, and publish. We can help you to write or ghostwrite your book. And then we can ultimately help you to finish it and distribute it to 44,000 outlets all around the world. I personally have sold in about 10 to 12 countries so far with my book. So you can sell internationally. There's no limit to where you can be presented and where you can sell from, which I like. You do own 100% of your book royalties. We don't take anything. You pay one fee and that's it. There are no mystery monthly payments that come out after you publish or add-ons that just keep adding on. No, the price we quote is the price it is. And we trust that when you're ready to do your next book, you'll call us back. A lot of our authors are repeat authors. So if you do want to be a repeat author, we are definitely able to support you in your journey in publishing multiple books. We do that a lot for our clients again. And the second way that we also help people to tell their story is through our version of traditional publishing. Okay. And when I say our version, I just mean that we do partnership deals that help our authors reduce the cost of publishing. So for some people who may honestly never publish their stories because they don't have thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars to invest in their stories, then we have percentage breaks that we can do where we can offload some of those expenses for percentage share in the book sales. That is how we do traditional publishing. The best thing about how we do it compared to everybody else or even the industry is we do not we give you a percentage that is fixed. If we don't make back the money we invest, we don't come after you for it. There is no implications on your credit or anything like that. It's basically us doing something in good faith, and we're trusting that it's going to be a good partnership. With that, it is a partnership arrangement. So there is a book review. You don't have to have your book written, but if it is, that's better. If it's not, it's okay. We just take less clients that need our help to write it as well. Most of our clients have it done. They just need help to kind of push them over through editing, formatting, publishing, that kind of thing. It's $250 to submit for that. But in submitting, we're going to give you a business strategy. We are going to review your book and we are going to tell you what you need. You can take what you get from that session and move forward with self-publishing. It still deducts from your total for services. So you don't lose anything. The only difference is it allows us to see if we can also invest in your book and be your partner instead of just your publisher. So if that's something that could bless you, definitely it's worth doing. And you can learn more about traditional and self-publishing at klehub.com. Okay. Now, for those of us who have said, Krystal, my book is done, I'm just trying to figure out what do I do next. Sometimes the biggest reason why some of us don't quite grow or get to where we could get to is that we don't know where to go after that. Sometimes our family can't help us get over that hurdle, meaning they can't help us do something they don't know how to do either. I know for some of us, it's annoying. We're like, Lord, why didn't you give me some family members that know what they're doing? I want to share with you this book. I'm trying to look for let me see if I can find it real quick. It should be on here. If not, I'll so this one right here is, let me see, Booger. No. It is, let's see, where is it? No. This, okay, here it is. Okay, cool. Okay. So with this one, Now, another way that we help people to launch their businesses, whether they're authors or not, starting a new business is always a challenge. So this is the paperback version, and this is the hardback version. So I loved it. This book sold in Germany, which I thought was really cool. But yes, if you're wanting to launch your business right, and you're like, Krystal, I don't know what I'm doing. For some of us, the reason why we don't want to go into a business is because we don't know what to do. And I want to let you know, everybody starts off there. And honestly, even when you know what to do, you still have to redo it, reassess your company, look at what's working, look at what's not working, because when you're honest, it will show you where you need to go from here. James says, "Hi, Queen Author. Love you. Enjoy your day. God bless you and your family." Shalom, James. Same back to you. Thank you so much. So with this, I want to show you how to step through a business, no matter what it is. Yes, I work with a lot of authors and I help them launch their businesses, but I work with a lot of people that are not authors because it all works the same. So I'm gonna put the hardback book down because it's bigger. This one's a lot easier. I'm so excited about having these in stock, by the way. So if you want to get this, you can go to my website, which is authorklee.com, author K Lee. Click on guides. It's there. You can get paperback or hardback. They are going to come signed, and they will come with a free consultation with the business concierge when you do order the book. So it's definitely worth it. And it helps you to get organized, see what you want and need to do, and get things going. Inside the book are also going to show you some of my clients that I've helped over the years. I've published a lot of their books. Some of them have multiple books. I know Melvina is in here. She has 3 books with us. Nikita, I need to add her on something for sure, but she has her 3rd book just now coming out, and we've done all 3. So if you are definitely wanting to launch a business and you got questions, this is it. It's going to show you how to do your mission statement, how to create your vision, how to do a client avatar, which is going to help you with marketing and promotion. If you've been stuck on, okay, Krystal, I got an idea, but what do I do to market or get it out there? This book, you can take a picture of it. You can buy it on Amazon, wherever you want to buy it from. If you buy it from my site, either KLeeTurnkey.com or authorklee.com, then you're going to get a signed copy, which is one of the best parts. But you're also going to get a consultation that comes with the book. If you order it through Amazon and all these other places, you can still get the same consultation, but you will use the QR code in the book to access the calendar so that you can add it. If you buy it from us, we'll reach out to you so that you won't forget or you won't miss out on something that we want to get. One of the biggest things about this book is I want to make sure that as you grab the book, you'll know what to do. One of the worst things that I feel like sometimes happens too often is people buy something and then they don't know what to do with it. So you buy it and then you're like, dang, what do I, how does it work? Yeah, so I want to encourage you. Not only do I give it to you, I also show you how to use it. All right. So if that's where you're at, good news, I can help you get over the hump and get your stories out there, but also see it from a business perspective. Okay. So take a picture of that or use the QR code that's pinned up, and it will help you to be able to tell your story. And then also, if you wanted to have the details for getting the Write Anything Easily guide, then it's going to be this one. So they look like this. All right. So yeah, so you can use those pins. When you use those pins, it will take you where you want to go. If you hit the link in my profile, you'll also be able to go to my website. You can grab the books there. And that's going to be authorklee.com. Okay. Same way as my handle, just add a .com to the end. All right. So that is all I have for today. Today's topic was family. Just to rehash, there are 3 levels to family. The people God chose for you, you don't get to pick those. God himself is family if you allow him to be. 2, the people you don't, the people you don't choose, meaning the people that other people married, your parents married, or people that are brought into the family outside of your control. And the 3rd one is the people that you choose to embrace. And I would say the ones that you choose to embrace tends to be the ones that are the closest. So make sure the people that you're making your family are people that honestly care about you, has your best interests at heart. These can be your teachers, can be professors, pastors, friends, those that connect with you online. Like, all kinds of people can be brought into your family. Okay. And there's no limit to it. That's the best part. The good thing is you get to control it. So if people are not, you know what I'm saying, blessing you and you're not able to bless them, then you may need to reassess, is this an associate or is this my family? Because family, as you know, good family. I know for some of us, we might not have had all the great experiences, but good family is going to be people that are going to be there for you. Good family, love is long suffering, it's kind, it doesn't boast, it's understanding, is willing to admit their wrongs and to allow you to grow, make mistakes, and forgive. So I want to encourage you, if you have not experienced that, find people that will give you that. And when it happens, don't be so quick to throw it away. I know sometimes we're like, nah, you ain't real. This is fake. You know, you just want this, you just want that. You're not genuine. There are genuine people that are actually really nice. I know when we go through so many churches and everybody rude and stuff like that, we assume like all churches are like this. And if people are nice, they're just flexing, they're not genuine. But I want to encourage you, if you can see yourself as being the person you want to attract, keep being you. I know even me and my daughter, we went through something recently. We were going to a couple of different churches back in the day, and some of our experiences have been really wonky. So when we got to this one, she thought her experience was going to be the same as what she's gotten before. And when she got there, she said, "Wow, Mom, I was pleasantly surprised." And I told her, I said, "You got to understand, you know, just like when Elijah felt like he was the only one and there was no one that was going to understand him or be, you know, what he was, which was someone who refused to, you know, do stuff that the father told him not to, basically to hold his morality, hold his convictions. He was like, Lord, I'm the last one. And the Messiah, or the Almighty, he was like, let me let you know, you're not the only one that hasn't bowed down to Baal. There's a whole lot of people that belong to me. And I want to let you know, there's a whole lot of people that belong to Yah. God Almighty, the one that is love, the one that is kind and caring and long suffering and cares about you. That's why he says, put your burdens on me. Pray to me about things because I care about you. And so I want to encourage you today, if you have felt like nobody cares and nobody's been there for you, allow the Father to be there for you and show you what real family does. And it doesn't abandon you. He says, well, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. So if you have felt forsaken, abandoned, rejected, all of that, we did that to Christ. So it's not because you're a terrible person. It's not because you deserve it. Okay. There is more that the Father has in store for you. And I just pray that you allow him to show you. Okay. So until my next live, create the family that the Father wants you to have. Embrace the ones that, you know what I'm saying, you didn't control, and don't blame yourself for choices other people have made because they were their choices. Although we have to live with it and deal with it, it's not your, everybody makes their own choices. And then they have to decide how to live with it. And then you have to decide how you can also grow from other people's choices because we don't control them all. But we can choose how we live our own lives. So may you take your power, use your power today to live the life that honestly you deserve. And let me see. I think one person made a comment. I just want to make sure if it is something. Hold on one second. Hey, Jerry. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. So I want to encourage you, create the family that you know you need and you deserve. All right. So until my next live, guys, which will be tomorrow morning, I want to tell y'all peace and blessings. I usually pop on between 8:30 and 9 a.m. Central. So definitely tap in. You ain't gonna miss me. And I do miss you until then. All right. So until then, guys, bye-bye for now. Thank you. Oh, real quick, if you haven't liked, subscribed, or shared, be sure to do that. Drop me a comment if you like. I will definitely tap back in. Lady T, thank you so very much for tapping in. I do appreciate you. I know I mentioned the Call to Pray series. Hold on one second, y'all. This series is big. I'm gonna let me move it. Dropping stuff. All right, so this is the series real quick. For those of you who have, wait, I don't even think this is all 12 of them, but this is enough of them. So this is part of the series. There's still more books in it, but this is a call to pray. So if you were wondering, where did I get those prayer books from? Yeah, because here's the rest of them. There is a lot. There's 12 of them in the series. So I had 3 missing. So there, that's what it feels like. So if you are going through something and you're like, Lord, I know I need to pray more, but I don't know what to pray. And for some of us, that's an honest thing to say. And so I wanted to create a series that will allow people to ultimately know how to pray. Hold on one second. I'm going to just make sure I share this too. All right. One, there's one in here. What is it? So there are, okay, there it is. Okay, there it is. Okay. So yeah, so there are 12 books in the series, which is what's been there. You can go there, you can find the books that make sense. Get the one that has the prayers in it you need. The best part about it, when you order any of these books, you will get the digital copies for free. And Lady T, I will be sending those out, Lord's willing, this month. So for those of you who ordered at certain times, you will get all the digital copies free. I did a promotion up until March of this year before I finished the last book. So I believe your book orders came in before that. And if they didn't, I still am going to give you the digital copies for the ones you do have. So my goal is to be able to get the series available in 5 languages. I've gotten through English. Now we have German, Spanish, French, and Portuguese to go. So when you order the books, it helps me to continue and finish the series to put it in all 5 languages. We also give you digital books for free that you can keep for yourself, have them on the go, or give them to other people so that they'll be able to read with you. And honestly, get the same encouragement. It's not about selling prayers. I'm gonna be real quick about that. Um, but it's about having access to what you ultimately need. There's the one I was looking for. Okay, there it is. So yeah, so you can go to a call to pray series.com, all spelled out normally. And when you go to a call to pray series.com, you can order any of the 12 books and you will get the digital books free. They do come signed. And yeah, pretty much all that. If you buy the collection, by the way, meaning all 12 books at once, then we will also give you the audio series that will be coming out later, probably later this year, max next year. And I do want to do, I'm gonna record them as videos. So you're gonna see them as a video audio thing. So you get those for free. It's just my way of telling you thank you. Thank you for supporting something that I believe in and I trust more people around the world will see the value in prayer. Recently, I know volume 7 sold this, oh, no, that ain't 7. This is 6. 7 has a lady on it. One of the things too I want to say about this series real quick before you guys go. The way that I know where I'm at is the colors because they are color coded. So this is 7. So as you can see, 7 is gray. They all got different colors. So yeah, so it'll help you if you have multiple books to know which one comes in where. Another thing I love about the book series too is in the back of the book, it's going to show you a list of all the prayers from every volume. So you'll know what book you may want to go to next. Ideally, I would say if you have a book a month, it will allow you to pray all the prayers and journal them. So there are journal pages after each prayer because I want you to be able to see your prayer life. I know for some of us, we might say, well, God don't talk to me. The question is, are you expecting him to? Okay. And when you're expecting him to, you're going to write it down. You're going to seek him. And I'm telling you, you're going to see how he shows up. The reason why a lot of us don't see God in our lives is because we don't know how to look for him. Okay. And what we are no longer dealing with, we don't think about as much because it's our new normal. Our new normal has now taken over. So we're not thinking about this anymore. So I want to encourage you, if you are dealing with some things or family members are, and you don't know how to help them, point them to a resource, which I believe is the Father, and he will do what we don't know or feel we can't do. And sometimes what we're not supposed to. We're not supposed to jump in and save everybody or be the God that they need to go find. We are to point them to the one that has done it for us. And that will build up their muscle, their strength, and they'll be able to do it for themselves. And that's the power of teaching and connection. Okay. So that's why I did the series, is to show people, because people are like, man, can you pray for me? And I'm like, yeah, of course. As a chaplain, I pray for people all the time. But I also want people to know there's coming a day where you won't be able to reach me, or I may not be able to get to you, or something, anything can happen. And sometimes you may not have a phone to call me, but I want you to know you don't have to if you can call on the name that's above every name and do it yourself. So that's why I have the series. And for some of us, nobody ever taught us how to pray. So we just thank you, Jesus, so much. I pray you have a good day. Um, yeah, Lord, just fix it. Some prayers are really that open, but the Bible says we pray amiss. And some of us, we have long prayers, but when we are done with the prayer, we still keep going like we didn't pray at all. So you're praying amiss because you don't believe he's going to do it. So I want to expose the things. And at the beginning of each of the books, there is a lesson, very short, only a few pages that I share. So like this is book number 6. And in this one, it will give you a topic also that we talk about. And the topics are listed here. Yeah, they're listed here. So in every volume, like I talk about salvation in one, forgiveness and debt cancellation, the Sabbath, fasting and praying, fruits of the spirit, love conquers all. In this book, I talk about the Beatitudes. In volume 8, it's vanity, 9, the character of God, 10, the cross, 11, redemption, and 12 is set the captives free. So these are little I call them sermonettes because they're real short, they're not long, but they'll help you to understand your faith as you continue to grow. Francesca, so good to see you, hon. Thanks for being in the Rose Club. I do want to make sure I shout you out before I end the live. So, yes, so if you want to watch the re air, you can go to YouTube and look up author K. Lee. All right. So, until then, y'all have a blessed, blessed day. And thank y'all so much for tapping in. And I will see you real soon, Lord's willing, tomorrow when I go live again. Make sure you subscribe or follow so you can see when I go live. And I will be checking in. I'll be in between 8:30 and 9:30 Eastern. So don't be a stranger. All right. And bye-bye for now, everybody.